Hi, this is Carolyn Service with o2bstamping.com. Today I want to show you how I made this little Thanksgiving card using the Pansy Punch to make the feathers on the turkey and the Owl Punch to make the turkey body. So let's get started. I'm going to start out with a card base that is 8.5 by 5.5. Fold that in half. Use your bone folder if you have one to get a nice crisp crease. Then I used, the next sheet I used is the cherry cobbler, and I also did some embossing on that with the Fancy Fan embossing folder. Now a lot of times when I'm using embossing, I like to use the green glue, or I call it the green glue, sorry, the Tombow multi-purpose adhesive, which sometimes gets clogged up and then comes out with a big old gush of glue, which that just did, so you don't really need that much, just a small amount will do you. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put that on my card. And then I also have a small strip of crushed curry cardstock that measures 1/2 inch by 5¼ inches. And I also have some Daffodil Delight ribbon that I'm going to put around it. I want about 7 inches to go around it and about 3 inches left over. So I'll lay this down. It'll be a little easier that way. And put my adhesive on the back side. And just fold that over. And attach it about 1/4 inch up from the bottom of my card. There we go. Then I'm going to take this small piece, it's about 3 inches. I'm going to tie that around the other ribbon and give it a good tight pull. Then you can trim that up if you'd like. Okay, so there's the base of the card. Now, to make the turkey, what I'm going to do is start with a soft suede piece of cardstock and the Owl Punch. Punch out one owl, put this aside. Then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to trim off his ears. Okay, there's where I get the turkey body from. You can see that. Okay. I'm going to work on my silicone craft mat. And what you're going to need to make the feathers for the turkey is 8 yellow petals from the Pansy Flower Punch, 7 tangerine, and 5 Cajun craze. Again, this is the petals, not whole flowers. Okay, and this gets a little fussy, but I'm just going to show you how I did this. So I cut these so that they sort of basically look like little heart shapes, but that you're only going to see this top portion, so you don't need to worry about how perfect that point is at any given time. But you're just going to cut these so that you have separate petals. Now I know this is a little fussy, so I'm going to put the video on fast forward and come back to you when I've cut all of these. Okay, now I have all of these ready, and I am going to start with the Cajun Craze, and I'm going to put some glue along the back side of the turkey's head, sort of down a little bit around his body. Don't need a lot. You don't want a lot because this can be a little bit of a fussy project and it can get glue on your fingers, so on and so forth. But you're going to just start by putting one of the feathers, the Cajun Craze is one you're going to start with, on his top of his head. Actually, let me zoom in a little bit on that. Okay. And then you're just going to come around and add those little heart-shaped petals around the top of the head. You're going to overlap them slightly so they look like that. Oops. So that they look like that on the front. Okay, I'll move this one in a little bit. And one more. And you might want to keep some handy wipes, baby wipes, handy, because this can be a sticky project. You will get glue on your fingers, I'm just going to tell you now. Okay, so there's your first layer of feathers. Okay, for the second and third, again, I'm going to put the video on fast forward, so I'm going to quit talking for the moment. The next ones that you want to do, however, is the tangerine. So I think I put my row of yellow a little closer, stacked them over each other, I guess, a little closer, because it looks like I need one more piece right here on the end, so that's going to make 9 yellow. Alrighty, there, that looks better. Okay. I got a little bit of glue on the front here. I'm just going to wait for that to dry and take a adhesive remover from that. So right now I'm not going to fool with that. The next thing I am going to do is probably one of the most tedious parts of the whole project, and that's to get these little eyes on. Again, I'm going to take the glue and just barely squeeze a little drop out there. 2 little drops actually, and then lay the little eyes down. Now you may have a tool that you could use to do this with a little easier, maybe a paper piercer or something to that effect. Feel free to use whatever will make it easier, because it is a little bit hard to get them on there. There we go. Okay, and then I'd want to add a beak. Just going to take a little small piece of the Tangerine Tango and cut a small triangle. Now, before I add that, I think I left an important part of the turkey in the other room. I shall return. Okay, so the piece I was missing was, let's see, I'll put it on here, you might be able to see it better, is a little heart that is punched out of the owl punch. And that's going to serve as his wattle. So I'm going to shape up this little triangle just a little bit better. And add the pointed part of the heart to the back of the beak so that it hangs down and out on one side. I'm going to go ahead and glue it to the body because they're such little pieces. They're hard to hold on to. But you'll be able to see it better, I think, once I lay it down. And then I'm going to put that right there. Okay, there we go. Again, when he dries, if you get a little bit of extra adhesive anywhere that you don't like the looks of, you can always go back and move it around with the, remove it with the little adhesive eraser. Okay, so there is my little crazy looking turkey that I'm ready to put on my card. So I'm going to bring my card back out, and I'm going to put some glue on the back. I do recommend like gluing him down. It'll help all of the petals to stay in place. I don't recommend using a dimensional to pop him up. We can use a dimensional, however, on the sentiment. Give the card a little dimension. And the way I made this sentiment is actually because this was such a funny, like cutesy card. I just didn't think the saying Happy Thanksgiving was going to quite go with this. So I went out on my computer and I made this little tag that says Happy Turkey Day. And then I'm going to take my bubble or word bubble framelit set and cut that out. So I'm going to do that on my Big Shot. We'll be right back. Okay, so using the word bubble, this particular one, I ran that through my Big Shot. Then I'm just going to use some cherry cobbler ink to match the background of the card, and I'm going to just sponge this real quick, a little bit around the edges, give it some dimension. Okay, I like the looks of that. Then I'm going to add a few dimensionals to the back. And this goes on the card up here. Now, I do want to mention that sometimes the word bubbles, depending on which ones you use, the little bubble down here at the bottom goes the opposite direction. So if you have one that goes the opposite direction, make sure you switch your turkey, put the turkey on the other side. And you might want to put a little dab of glue or glue dot under this if it wants to. Seems like mine is wanting to bow a little bit. But so you can just add a little bit of glue, or as I said, a dimensional. So there's my card. I hope you enjoyed that. Again, my name is Carolyn Service with o2bstamping.com. I'm at your service, so if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Have a wonderful day.